cleared for Friday Night Football at Commonwealth Stadium. The Elks set to host the defending Grey Cup champion Montreal Alouettes. Edmonton opening at home back-to-back weeks to start the season. Let one slip away against the Riders last week. With a win over Winnipeg, Montreal picked up right where they left off, specifically one of their young Canadian receivers.
Yeah, this game features two playmaking receivers that both happen to be Canadian. Let's start with Montreal and Tyson Philpott, who led all receivers in the Canadian Football League last week in week 1 of the season with 141 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. And for the Elks, Curly Gittens Jr., the former Toronto Argonaut and 1,000-yard receiver, 9 catches, 62 yards for the Elks, 9 catches, more than any of his teammates.
Chris Jones, just 2-17 at home since taking over as head coach and general manager of the Edmonton Elks. He will look to pick up that 3rd win tonight. And on the other side, what a run the Montreal Alouettes have been on. They've won 9 in a row. Jason Maas back where he was head coach from 2016 to 2019. Montreal won the coin toss, deferred. Edmonton will start with the football and trying to avoid an 0-2 start. Huge game for both of these clubs early in the season. And we are underway. Friday Night Football from Commonwealth. High, shorter kick will be taken at the 22 by Leak. Looks for a little bit of space along the sideline. And that is where he's taken down. We'll get our first look at MBT tonight.
He threw for over 300 yards in week 1 versus Saskatchewan. Couple of touchdowns, completed 79% of his passes, did not get the win. 4th quarter collapse and 21 unanswered points by the Riders. The Elks in an 0-1 start to the season.
Completed almost 80% of his passes last week. Will be tested against a strong Montreal defense. They start on the ground to Kevin Brown, a big part of this Edmonton offense.
Congratulations to left guard David Foucault, who played in his 100th CFL game last week in week 1 of the 24 campaign. That offensive line stays intact. And there's Curly Gittens Jr. He was targeted 12 times, more than any Elks receiver last week. Caught 9 of them for 62 yards. Longest catch on the day, a 20-yarder, but he caught 3 that moved the sticks, and those are the big ones, those 2nd down conversion catches.
That was some injuries last year, the year before. 1,100 yards receiving. Quick completion, 1st down to Gino Lewis against this Montreal defense.
Yeah, Derek Wigan, new Montreal Alouette, got his 1st sack as an Alouette last week against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. One change in the linebacker core. Reggie Stubblefield out for the season with a knee injury. Bryce Cosby will start in his place out of Ball State. And Marc-Antoine Duquois, the best safety in the league, started with his 1st game and 1st interception last week against Winnipeg.
Just 12 points allowed last week by this Montreal defense. Let's take a look at MBT's work last week.
Oh, really looked good basically for 3 quarters, and then got into some turnover trouble in that 4th quarter. Again, getting his weapons going. A couple of touchdowns for Hergy Mayala. Dylan Mitchell targeted 7 times, caught all 7 of his passes, and they got Eugene Lewis involved later in that 2nd half. 2nd and 7,
he's in trouble, and he's taken down. Darnell Sankey gets to the quarterback for the 1st time this season.
Sankey is showing in that, like on the line of scrimmage, as if he may blitz, delays a second until the blocking assignments are established, and then shoots again.
Ethel Thompson sacked twice last week. 3rd and 16. Jake Julian called into work, averaging 54.4 yards per kick last week. This is a pretty good one as well. It'll be taken at the 10. A little bit of room on the far side. And returned back up along the sideline. Tackle made by Luke Burton-Cron. Cody Fajardo, heck of a run with the Montreal Alouettes, picking up that win last week in Winnipeg in the Grey Cup rematch. He'll be on the field when we return to Commonwealth. Starting on the road in Winnipeg with that Grey Cup rematch last week, Cody Fajardo settled in nicely.
Well, this offense is on a roll. You go back to last year, the Grey Cup championship, then they opened the season in the rematch and keep it going. Cody Fajardo, I mean, was the top quarterback in the league in completion percentage last year over the entire season and was almost exactly bang on in week 1. 71%.
Start on the ground to Fletcher, the former Elk. A decent pickup on first down.
71.6% throughout last season. Week 1, 71.4. 1 interception, but 2 touchdown throws. Tyson Philpott going early and often.
Career completion percentage of 70.5% for Fajardo. Only Trevor Harris, who we saw here in Edmonton in week 1, has a higher all-time completion percentage. 4-man rush. Fajardo, he's going to look down the field. A deep shot early. That's hauled in just inside the 35. Julian Grant with a big one from Fajardo, and the Alouettes are in business.
It is a big one, and wow, is it ever well thrown here. It's just a deep post, and Cody Fajardo is going to put some air under this. Outside leverage technique by Cordell Jackson, who started last week for Edmonton at safety, has now moved to the halfback spot because Luchez Purifoy is back. Purifoy was out of the middle. They went right after Jackson.
51-yard shot to Julian Grant. Down to the Edmonton 27 in the early stages of the opening quarter. Back again to Julian Grant, and this time he is wrapped up about half of what they need.
Offensive line intact from week 1 against Winnipeg. And take a look at that group. Only gave up 1 sack against the Bombers. And then we talked about Tyson Philpott. Big game, led all receivers in Canadian football in week 1. No Tyler Sneed tonight. He is out due to injury. See a little bit more of Sibasu in the lineup.
2nd and 5 on the Edmonton 22 on the edge of a trip to the red zone to start the game here for Montreal. Fajardo looks to his left, throws to his right, going down to try to haul it in. Charleston Rambo, and he got it close to that first down marker.
Last week was the first game for Rambo, my new favorite name in Canadian football. And he's just come down, get a little chip block to help in the protection. Ball by himself on that side. I think he did get his hands underneath.
Yep.
You get him right at the marker.
2 catches last week for Rambo. Didn't get the first down, but we're talking inches here. Fajardo stays in short yardage, pushes it ahead, and got the inches that he needed there. Let's take a look at this Edmonton defense this week.
Robert Kimadici got his first sack in Canadian football, but also is learning the nuances of this game. Different than American football down south. Niles Morgan led all tacklers in the CFL, had 9 defensive tackles last week in the loss to the Riders. And I mentioned Luchez Purifoy. He's starting at safety, so that bumps Cordell Jackson over to the halfback spot. And Cody Fajardo tested him early.
Purifoy, a much-needed veteran in that secondary for Edmonton. Fajardo, 1st and 10 from the Elks 15. Quickly gets it out to Julian Grant again. And he will take it down to about the 6-yard line before he is stopped by Niles Morgan and Kai Gray.
That's the key word in this play, is quickly. Fajardo gets it out there so quickly that Julian Grant has a chance to do something with it. Sometimes when the quarterback holds on to that ball a little bit too long on a hitch screen like that, it allows the defenders to rally to it. But that time it gave Julian Grant some time to go up and get some yards after the catch.
3 catches on this opening drive for 67 yards for Julian Grant. 5th-year member of the Alouettes, pushing ahead on 2nd and a short. Nice opening drive here for Montreal.
Yeah, really. And well, that big play down the middle, get things started with just an excellent throw from Cody Fajardo. I mean, putting a little bit of air under it. We talked last week when they played against Winnipeg about how comfortable he looks in Jason Moss's system. I mean, even late last year, you know, when you compare the two, and this is the Grey Cup champion, this is defending champion that won it on a last-second throw to the end zone. Their offense did what they needed to do in that game, but they looked more comfortable in the first 2 weeks of the season.
3 options to the left, 2 to the right for Fajardo, throwing towards the corner, one hand, and they got it. An unreal play by Speaker as he holds it in, and Montreal strikes first with the touchdown.
Boy, number 7, Cody Fajardo, thought he'd thrown this one over his head. He thought that he might have thrown this a little bit too high down the seam. You could tell how he's just kind of, he lets it go, and then he goes like, uh-oh, did I miss him? But what a play by Speaker. Tips it to himself and brings it down. Great opening drive for the road team.
Just the 3rd career touchdown for Cole Speaker. Fajardo's 3rd touchdown of the season. And Montreal drives the field on their first possession of the ball game.
Well, Milton Stiegel will tell you that sometimes the receiver will bail you out if you throw it a little high.
That's their job, isn't it?
That's their job.
That's their job. 6'2" is Cole Speaker. Didn't stop him from getting up here.
Go get it.
Look at this. Yeah. Lays it out there for himself.
What a drive by the Montreal Alouettes. First drive of the game on the road against a desperate team. Cody Fajardo goes deep down the middle to Julian Grant. A couple of catches for him for number 11 on this drive. 8 plays, 83 yards. Took up 5 minutes and 8 seconds of this first quarter and ended in a major. Nice catch by Speaker.
Can't start the game much better than Cody Fajardo. 5 of 5, 77. And now Edmonton will get the ball back again. This will come to Javon Leak. Leak, far side, takes it up to about the 40. Decent little return on that far side of the field. Takes it outside the 40. And that is where McLeod Bethel-Thompson will get the ball for a second time today. This time when he gets it, his team trails 7-0. Welcome back. Debut in Edmonton last week for McLeod Bethel-Thompson. He did all right.
Yeah, he really did. I mean, you take a look at the top 3, and Jason Moss, one of them at 358, 447 for Trevor Harris. Trevor Harris led the team to a win that game. Jason Moss got the loss, just like McLeod Bethel-Thompson did in week 1 against the Riders. But that's what's deceptive about this Elks team sometimes. You know, they have big performances, great plays, definitely have outstanding athletes on the field. You got to find a way to win.
Have not yet put it together. Over the middle, down the field, drop it in just inside the 45 to Curly Gittens Jr. His first catch of the ball game is a big one the other way.
Curly Gittens is just going to time up this waggle, and then this ball is deliberately thrown low and away. Defender closing from the outside shoulder.
Edmonton's going to move quickly here, near side. That was almost intercepted. Boy, Ento came flying in there, didn't he?
Big interception in the Grey Cup last year against the Bombers. Took points off the board, and he jumped that one. He was in the Edmonton playbook.
Right there, wasn't it?
I mean, this was reading the mail right here. A couple steps back and then downhill.
2nd and 10 from the Montreal 44. Flags here. MBT far side. And that one is caught. Hergy Mayala, who had the 2 touchdowns last week, takes it out of bounds just inside the 35.
This is expected a little bit. That was a penalty against Cosby, the DB that's playing for Reggie Stubblefield.
Offside.
This is his first
Montreal,
game.
number 30. Penalty is declined. First down.
First game in the starting lineup, and he gets the call on a blitz, the quarterback. Play on defense. That was a free play for McLeod Bethel-Thompson, and they'll take the play. Bigger than the penalty.
Talking about debuts last week, just quickly, while we had Hergy Mayala up there. Montreal for a couple of years. Joins Edmonton, and sure enough, 2 touchdowns last week. Big time impact. Now they'll hand it off to Brown. Brown trying to pick his way through that defense. takes it down to the 25. Excellent first down carry for Kevin Brown.
Yeah, this is going to be important, very important. I mean, it always is for every team to have the balance in the offense, but Kevin Brown's a 1,000-yard guy. I mean, just 7 carries last week against the Riders. Really didn't get a chance to get going.
You can't do much with 7 carries,
no,
can you?
Yeah, and both teams played well against the run that game, but they like 20. They want to get to 20.
Would like 20. Give him 20 touches every single. He did have 5 catches. I think. Here's Prukop in short yardage, and that's what he does best. Pushes ahead, and that looks like an Edmonton first down as this drive continues.
Well, that's a scenario where they go twice. Go for it on second down because it was 2-3 yards that he needed, so you go for it twice. Make sure you get the new set in plus territory, 3 yards outside of the red zone.
We'll see if Edmonton can finish off what's been a decent response drive here after Cody Fajardo took the Alouettes down the field to put them up 7-0. Just over 4 minutes remaining here in the opening quarter. Beautiful Friday night in Edmonton. NBT, quick fake. Now he goes that way, and that is just straight up dropped. Very rare for Curly Gittins to not haul that one in.
Well, interesting here that they moved Gino Lewis from wide receiver into the slot position, and then he's going to run like a fake and then down the sideline, and they're going to throw the hitch here. But look at Gino Lewis. He is almost like the decoy. It looked like to me they were going to try and pump fake or at least set it up for a play down the road. He usually lines up at wideout. They moved him into slot.
2nd and 10 from the Montreal 22. Some pressure coming. MBT stays in there over the middle. Hergy Mayala's got it down inside the 5. First down Edmonton, and they're knocking on the door.
That's a big one. You know, you look back and see how this game turns out after 4 quarters of football, but that if the Elks can find a way to win this game, go back to this play as one that they really had to have. I mean, the response to the drive early, get it down inside the 5, and a courageous catch over the middle. That one's tough because you know you're going to get hit.
1 for 2 in the red zone last week against the Riders. Ethel Thompson turns, hands it off to Kevin Brown. Brown trying to push his way towards the end zone. Is he there? Looks like they stopped him just short. Pretty good effort from Brown.
Well, now it comes down to the toughest yard on the field, the last one. You're on offense trying to score. Mustafa Johnson in there, Derek Wigan in there. They're going to try and plug it up in the middle. Watch Darnell Sankey go over the top here, try and, if they turn around to hand it off, try and time up over the middle. Seen Adam Bighill do that so much throughout his career, but Sankey's
he's not bad at it, is he? That's Mustafa Johnson, who took a knee, got up, walked a bit further, then went down on one knee. He had a tackle for a loss, 3 other tackles last week, 9 career sacks, and now his 3rd season with the Montreal Alouettes.
Well, they're down on the goal line. He doesn't want to go off. That's why he took a couple times to get there, but something not quite right. Medical staff looking at him. They'll bring in Avery Ellis. 7 years in the Canadian football at a Temple.
He was with Edmonton back in 2022. Something up in the eye or around the forehead there for Johnson. Dakota Prukop, this is why he's brought in here, Glenn. I mean, for these situations, right? This is where he excels. He's done it a few different spots around the Canadian Football League. Now here in Edmonton, 2nd and goal from the Montreal 1 for Dakota Prukop. Trying to push Edmonton into the end zone, follows the line, and it looks like he is there. Touchdown, Edmonton. A response from the home side as they answer back. Some flags in the end zone, and we'll await the word on those.
Very likely the defense trying to time up their get off.
Justin McInnes, our referee this evening.
Well, the big play of the drive was 2nd down and long, and Montreal over the middle to get him inside the 5-yard line, and a really tough catch, knowing he was going to get hurt or hit.
15-yard misconduct penalty against Montreal, number 22. Those 15 yards will be applied on the kickoff.
That was a big play. Montreal, knowing he was going to get a hit, but going up and pulling that one down, get inside the 5. That was 1 of 9 plays, 70 yards for the Elks, and a huge response after the Montreal major.
Try to take away some of that early game momentum from the visitors here tonight. Boris Beatty out. Knocked home a couple of these last week. This to tie the game at 7 early here on Friday Night Football. And he knocks it through. Solid drive from Edmonton to try to get the crowd going here at Commonwealth. Dakota Prukop, the man who finishes the job, his first touchdown as a member of the Elks. Gazzola.
Yeah, Dusty, a lot of a collapse, actually, for the Edmonton Elks last week against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. That was something Chris Jones said they need to clean up this week against the Alouettes, the defending champs, obviously. The 3 turnovers especially, 11 penalties in the game. The late one to Robert Kimdichie. Chris Jones talked to him, said, did you think the game was over? You know, coming up from from the United States and learning the game in Canada. And Niles Morgan had to have a conversation with some of the guys coming up, and he said, you almost have to teach them that it's 5 quarters when you consider the last 3 minutes of the 4th.
Yeah, thanks, Tommy. And that was an interesting conversation this week, I thought, with Niles Morgan that we had.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's exactly what it is. It's like a quarter all by itself, that final 3 minutes. I mean, I remember Coach Mark Trestman in Montreal telling me it took him a couple of years. I mean, he didn't admit it early on, but it took him a couple of years to really learn how to manage that final 3 minutes. And Robert Kimdichie trying to learn that. Niles was telling us that, you know, he was trying to learn that if you're up 2 possessions in other leagues, that's pretty much, you know,
lights out at that
lights
point,
out, and not here. So, you know, you got to stay focused and maintain that concentration, especially in that final 3, which Niles Morgan called the 5th quarter.
Fajardo, perfect so far in the ball game. Out to his right, has another completion. That one to Speaker, breaks the tackle, and then Purifoy is there to make sure he doesn't go any further. Cody's 6 for 6 to start the game.
But, you know, I think Niles, in our conversation, was talking also about, you know, how they dealt with it, how they handled that week 1. And what they're doing is, and he mentioned to us, they're having accountability meetings, they call it. Team meetings where the coaches aren't necessarily even in them, but the entire defense, the entire offense, and they look at the tape, and they look at the film, and they look at mistakes they made, and they own up to it to their teammates. And they say, we got to eliminate those things and find a way to win these games.
2nd and 7, that defense would like a big play here. Fajardo, Speaker again, he's got it out to the 50, midfield, and Purifoy comes over to help Morgan finish him off as the Montreal Alouettes offensively continue to march.
Well, there's a couple of things going on right now for Montreal that's working so well. One is the comfort level for Cody Fajardo. He's not really seeing much pressure. So, you know, the progression for the Elks now is going to be, they're going to have to send some linebackers to maybe create some pressure on Fajardo, because if he's allowed to stand back there like he has been, his receivers are getting open.
Down to the Edmonton 53. Everybody to the left here for Fajardo. They'll hand it off. And good job, 2nd effort pushing through. How about the work there from Walter Fletcher? Looked like they may have had him at the line of scrimmage.
And just a 3-yard average in that game 1 against the Bombers, but you know he's capable. That was a good run. Not going down by 1st, 2nd, or 3rd contact.
Darius Bratton from the secondary there to make the tackle for Edmonton. 2nd and 3. Final play of the opening quarter. Fletcher to the right of Fajardo. He's going to throw to the right, and that falls incomplete. And that will bring up 3rd down. First miss of the day for Cody Fajardo, who's over 100 yards passing in the opening quarter. Friday Night Football, good one shaping up here at Commonwealth between the Edmonton Elks, looking for their first win of the season, and the Montreal Alouettes, the defending Grey Cup champions who've won 9 in a row going in Edmonton. Elks 7, Alouettes 7. Both quarterbacks moving the ball pretty well so far in this ball game.
Well, yeah, the great response drive from McLeod Bethel-Thompson. I love the Mayala catch. And Cody Fajardo's just not seeing much pressure. I mean, Jason Shivers might have to go with some linebacker pressure or something. He's standing back in that pocket. Part of it is because of the play calling. I mean, Jason Moss has got Cody Fajardo going hitch out to the outside and quick throws, and then he goes down the middle on a deep ball. So it gets you frustrated on defense. Jason Shivers needs to now look at maybe some linebacker blitz.
3rd and 3 on the Edmonton 46, and Montreal. A little bit of breeze probably at their back. Not much, though. Turned into a beautiful night after a just disgusting afternoon here at Edmonton weather-wise. 53-yarder, 53 and a little bit right here for Cote. That one is up, and that one is through with some leg to spare as well. He's 3 for 3 to start the season. That one by far his longest. Deepest he had to kick from last week was 22 yards.
That's a biggie. I mean, that one, he could have made that from another 10 yards back. I think for a second his head coach didn't make a little mental note there.
I was going to say, he's going to kick from 65 at some point in this game.
Yeah, going that way, we might be able to kick one from 60. It's a big kick.
When somebody knocks one in from 60, I will certainly lose my mind on the call. That'd be fun. Edmonton back on the field offensively. 4 options out to the right. That's where he goes. And that's going to be a first down right off the bat. Back to Curly Gittens, who, if you've got him in fantasy this season, you're going to love the amount of targets this guy's getting.
Well, and they have some chemistry from their days together in Toronto. And because of the loaded up blitz here coming from Montreal, this is what McLeod Bethel-Thompson is at his best. He's seen it all. So he sees the line of scrimmage. He knows he's got to get rid of it. Can't block them all up. So even if it's a bit of a quacker, it doesn't matter.
There, yeah.
It doesn't matter. It got there. First down.
Up to their own 51. And that back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a yard on the play as they get it to Javon Leake, who had 3 carries last week for just 4 yards and a big fumble in the 4th quarter of that game against the Riders. But they want to mix him into the offense a little bit.
And I think it's a good idea. I mean, think of what he did in the return game in Toronto. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Get him the football as much as you can, and he's got to settle into this offense, that's for sure.
He had a return touchdown last week that was actually called back due to a penalty. 2nd and 10 on their own 51. 5-man pressure coming. MBT over the middle, and that is batted away. Deontay Ruffin getting a hand in there against Gittens.
Yeah, it looks like straight man, and Deontay Ruffin is just with Gittens the whole way. I mean, here's your intended target, who has been a favorite target for MBT, just puts his foot in the ground and breaks downhill on it. Nice hand across. That right hand, by the way, doesn't twist Curly Gittens, so no penalty flag. You can have it there, you just can't grab and twist the receiver.
3rd and 10. Julian out to kick it away. Likely he'll let this thing fly from about his own 40 when it's all said and done. Sliding over underneath it. Ledger. And he takes it back up just outside the 20. Yet to be activated tonight. Tyson Philpott, 10 catches for 141 yards and 2 touchdowns last week.
Just yet in this one, but in game 1 against Winnipeg, Tyson Philpott, 10 catches, 141 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's, remember, a 5-game now touchdown streak for Tyson Philpott going back to the Grey Cup and the playoffs and the regular season last year.
He's popping, no doubt about it. Just 23 years old. And so he gets his first touch of the game. Pick up a first down.
Had a great conversation with Tyson as well this week, and talked to him about his competition with his brother Jalen and how they have so much respect but are very competitive with each other. Asked him about Dad's advice as well. Corey Philpott, of course, former BC Lion.
Fajardo barking out directions here Play clock ticks down over the middle. That one almost intercepted. Oh, Purifoy was probably thinking end zone the other way, and he had a couple of touchdowns last season.
Well, this is why Luchez Purifoy back in the lineup is so important. I mean, he just finds ways to make plays. I mean, he's going to stay back there from that safety spot, but he knows one thing. They try to throw that seam route, which they've thrown a couple of times now. With him in the middle, he's jumping it. He's not going to hesitate. He's seen it before. He's playing the quarterback throwing motion and did everything but catch it.
Right in the hands. Could not corral it.
That's what you got to do in practice when you drop one. So
you got to punish yourself with hard work. First 2 and out by either team. And Zima lets this fly from the 15. Directs it to the near sideline. And that hits the official in the melon. That's a tough one. That's a tough one to see.
He wanted to be right on the spot. Paying the price. I got it.
Rob Handy. He didn't use his. Really captivating. HBO's House of the Dragon. The new season streams June 16th. Only on Crave. That's Sunday, isn't it? That's Sunday. That's Father's Day. Look at that.
Right. I forgot.
Yeah. Father's Day. I think that was a mask that guy was wearing. MBT near side. Dylan Mitchell, first time today. Gets a little bit of help, and that'll be enough for a first down on the extra push from his teammates. 7 catches last week on 7 targets, 93 yards for Mitchell. Nice start to the season.
Absolutely. And sitting in the hole, reading exactly what McLeod Bethel Thompson read, which is a zone defense look where you go to a spot and then react once the ball's in the air. Great timing on that quick curl.
Down to the Montreal 51. 3 options, 2. Bring some bodies into block. Little toss here to Brown. Patiently picks his way ahead. Takes it down just inside the 50.
I think expectations, think about last year and on the entire team. When you only win 4 games, it's not just on one guy, that's for sure. But really tough start to the season for Edmonton. Mitchell coming back for his 3rd season. It's about right then when you start to really figure it out. The game slows down. It doesn't matter what position you're playing. About year 3, everything slows down a little bit. Don't worry about the expectations. Just go and do your job.
2nd and 8 for Edmonton near midfield. Out to the far side. And Mitchell cannot turn. Working there against Murray. And that one falls incomplete. And Edmonton will be forced to kick this away.
Well, maybe a little pressure on MBT here that forces a throw that I don't think it was all on number 10. I mean, that pressure off the edge. Did he throw it a little bit quick? Didn't look like Dylan Mitchell really got out of that break crisp. A bit of a stumble at the end.
Looked like he sort of hesitated looking for the ball before the push towards it. Letcher waits on his own 10 for this kick from Julian. That'll hang up. Letcher waits, takes it at the 12, near sideline. And a very short return, flag in the middle of the field on the return.
And Tyson Philpott talked about his dad and the advice that he gave him, and his dad Corey, who was a great running back in the Canadian Football League from '93 to 2000, said, "Don't let your talent speak for itself.
Number 31, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Let your hard work speak for itself." And Tyson telling us that there was a lot of tough love, always supportive, but a lot of tough love from Dad. Like, you know, don't pout when you drop one. Don't come back to the sideline thinking that you're entitled to do something. Just go back to work. And you know, you talk to the teammates of Tyson or Jalen, and you'll hear them talk about these guys and say, man, they go after it. these guys are healthy. They're the hardest working guys on the field, and the results are starting to show.
Have all the talent in the world, but if you don't work hard, you're just going to waste it. 1st and 10 for the Montreal 9. Fajardo fakes the handoff, now out to his right, and he dumps it off over the middle, and it's Rambo for his second catch of the ball game. He found some space and takes it all the way out beyond the 30.
Just feels like today's day and age, we don't get enough tough love. Everybody wins an award now, but
I've never won an award, Glenn.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, here, let me make one up for you. Let me make one up for you, because that's the world we live in now. But a little tough love's good for you, and it's showing. And that's a nice throw and run by the Alouettes offense.
23 yards to Charleston Rambo. Now they'll give it to Fletcher, and he is taken down from behind, but after a pretty good burst ahead on 1st down.
I just love the play calling right now from Montreal offensively to, get not only the quick game passing like we talked about at the quarter, mixed in with a couple of deep shots, and then throw in a run game. Also, Jason Moss is moving the launch point for Cody Fajardo. So not just throwing from the pocket every time. That last play to Rambo, he was on a full roll and threw it back against the flow. It's really tough to defend when you're doing all those different things.
Keeping Edmonton guessing right now. 2nd and 5 from their own 37. Fajardo out to his right again. Dumps it off wide open for a 1st down. Julian Grant takes it out of bounds, and Montreal move the sticks.
How many times have we watched young quarterbacks have that same decision that Cody Fajardo just had and decide to go down the field because he wants a bigger chunk, because he gets outside, he doesn't feel any pressure. You see young guys go, you know what, I want a big one here because I got all the time in the world. Cody Fajardo, a veteran quarterback, doesn't do it. He sees a guy that has the 1st down. Let's get a new set of downs. Let's just dump it off on the quick throw, and we stay on the field.
Fajardo's 9 of 11 for 138 yards and a touchdown so far in the ball game. This time out to his left, being chased and taken down by Elliott Brown. 1st sack of the season for 41.
Well, that's excellent discipline from Elliott Brown here to not be fooled. He's in the 2-point stance, so just the feet on the ground. He's not got his hand on the turf. He takes that inside step to seal the inside and make sure there's no run play there, but still has the speed to redirect and get out to Cody Fajardo. Cody's a running quarterback. He can run.
Brown's a big boy, 6'5", just 225 though, and he got out and after it pretty quick. Just a small loss. Empty backfield here for Fajardo. Look down the middle. Now he's going to take off. Cody Fajardo using his feet. 1st down at midfield. And that's where he will slide after picking up the 1st down for the Alouettes.
Yeah, smart to looked at the marker, saw where he was on the field, and said, okay, that's good. The defender's closing in, but watch how it opens up. Little inside stunt with a cross, a stunt different than a blitz, only sending 4. And you can stunt the defensive lineman. Little cross action, he ran right through it.
Fajardo keeping the drive alive, back on the ground and down to the 50 for Fletcher.
Just defensively, this starts to get frustrating. And, and Niles Morgan will get in the huddle and he'll start telling his teammates, like, we got to start dictating. Start forcing him to be uncomfortable rather than as comfortable as he looked with all this different play calls going on.
So dictate as opposed to react.
Exactly. Exactly.
They need 7 more for a 1st down. Elks will bring 4. Fajardo looking for speed. Oh, he is hammered. Purifoy delivers the blow, and it was a big one on 17 in whites. Holy smokes. Purifoy back in the lineup for Edmonton's defense. Almost had an interception earlier, missed that. Did not miss on this.
Just taking a look at the hit. Led with the shoulder. It looked like live to me, and he certainly did. Got his head out of the contact area. Led with the right shoulder. Great timing on the hit. It was clean. Now we just hope Speaker's okay.
Speaker remains down on the ground, being 10-2.
And left the field under his own power. He takes this big hit that looked completely clean and well timed by Purifoy with the shoulder. Hopefully it was the wind that got knocked out of him, but he walked off and looked like he'll be okay.
Malik Flowers and Javon Leak wait back at their own 10 for this kick. Zima lets it fly from the 50, a low kick. And that one will fly out of bounds at about the 14.
One more look at that big hit from Purifoy. He has a nose for the football. And if he can't get to the football, he's not afraid to do that.
Good example. Both of those plays we saw, they jumped it to try to get the interception on a similar sort of pass.
Absolutely.
And then that time wasn't going to get there to pick it.
Edmonton, number 90.
Blows him up
distance
instead.
to the goal. First down.
Tim Dichie called on the hold. So that'll back them up even further. And this drive for Edmonton will start on their own 6.
By the way, when we talk about the long field goal attempt by Montreal, the problem with trying a 60-yarder is that the returners in the league are too good. If you miss from 60, now your cover team's got a lot of ground to cover to get down there.
You got Javon Leak who's just waiting for that opportunity. Scary proposition. Bethel Thompson goes over the middle. Mitchell made one man miss and brings it to the near sideline before Sankey forces him out of bounds. Oh, Hergy Mayala, rather, sorry. It's Mayala's 3rd catch of the ball game.
A big one on the touchdown drive for sure. Down on the doorstep.
This is a team that lost Kyron Moore. The end of preseason practice. It's kind of opened the door for Hergy Mayala, and he has done a lot with it here through the first 1.5 games. MBT stays in the pocket, near side, just outside the 20.
Here's what I don't get, though, and maybe Milt can help me out here. But, you know, I know that McLeod Bethel Thompson's got to make his read and throw it to the spot he believes is you know, the right spot to throw it based on the read and based on the defense. I just think with a guy like Geno Lewis, it just feels like this is a game and a half now, and it's been so quiet for him. I know he had 4, but those were late in that game, and I don't know. I'm writing up plays to get 87 the ball.
Fake the handoff to Brown. Now down the near sideline, going up for it, and how about that? Curly Gittens climbs the ladder, comes down with the ball.
Or throw it to 19. That works too.
That works too.
Yeah, big catch. That is a biggie. Go up and get it. Yeah.
Perfectly placed football from McLeod Bethel Thompson, who's now at 129 yards here in the first half.
It really is, because Ruffin was over the top. He had a defender underneath. He had to thread the needle there, put a little air under it.
Now back on the ground, push ahead, go for at least 3 yards. Set up a second and manageable as Edmonton creeps towards midfield here, trailing 10-7 at home on Friday Night Football.
We got a little thing we call one more time when we have a play like this. And first of all, the throw, you're right, is so precise to drop it in there between 2 defenders. Curly Gittens goes up and rips it down.
4th catch of the game, back-to-back catches to Gittens, 76 yards already. He had 62 on 9 catches and 12 targets in week 1. 2nd and 7 here. 5-man pressure from Montreal. Things open up. A little bit of a stumble that time. Got back up, and that's where he's wrapped up by Deontay Ruffin. But Gittens again, and he's frustrated with himself on that one.
Yeah, he had some room. He, you know, just spun the tires out a little bit on the corner.
Edmonton trailing as we hit 3 minutes, but they're marching.
out at halftime. What are you trying to say, Lapo? No one can read the whiteboard. What does it say?
Enoch winners, losers.
No, just wait. We have a new game show. We haven't even done it
You think
yet.
you're gonna beat us?
No, we haven't done the game show yet. First to 50, you'll see it at half.
He just said we're gonna win. That's all. Giving it away.
I love new content. That's exciting.
What is going on in there? Uh-oh. Oh, boy. Who drew who?
Everybody's going to play the pointing game right now.
Getting some help from the
I was
command
just going
center.
to say, Justin McInnes in that headset right now. 2:39 remaining here in the half. This would be a big call, 3rd and inches.
Noel Thorpe, defensive coordinator, very interested to hear if this early movement there, but also Bryce Cosby at the top of your screen moved into the neutral zone too. So I'm just not sure who went first. Look at number 30. We'll move there with the hand.
Yeah, it looked like Sean Lemon,
Offside.
I think.
Montreal, defensive line. 5-yard penalty, first down.
I'm going to say Noel Thorpe calling the defense is interesting. Talking to Darnell Sankey, is really the leader of that group, certainly the leader of the front 7 calling the defenses. And Sankey liked his name for this defense. He said it's a go-get-it defense.
Ooh, that's good. That's way better than let it all get allowed defense, you know?
It's the go-get-it defense. I love that.
Drive stays alive. Lots of time remaining here in the first half. Edmonton trailing 10-7. 4 options out to the wide side right for McLeod. Bevel Thompson, pressure coming.
Go get it,
Can
defense.
he stay on his feet? No. Bryce Cosby, first career sack out of Ball State.
The go-get-it defense.
They say put your ears back and get after it.
Well, first down, too, you could be expecting a run play here possibly. Lots of time in this first half, but you can also, that's just 4-man pressure. It's just a different 4 coming from the linebacking core instead of the D-line. And unblocked off the edge.
Hunter Stewart was kind of looking around, wondering who he was supposed to block. MBT pressured again, gets this one away, going down. And trying to haul it in was Malik Flowers. And he moves him down just outside the 40. And that will bring up 3rd down and 6.
And it may be enough for field goal range, or are they going to punt it away?
Beatty is trotting out onto the field.
He's got plenty of leg for this. It doesn't look like there's much wind. If there's any, it would be against him, but
Beatty last week, 2 of 3, missed that 48-yarder. Basically this exact same kick. This will be from the right hash. I think that one last week was from the left hash. To tie the game at 10 late in the 2nd quarter. Beatty lets it fly, and that one skies through the uprights. Montreal 10, Edmonton 10 with 1:48 remaining in the first half.
well, he had some room to spare too on this one. I mean, we've seen Beatty make some long kicks, so he's got the leg for sure. You see the flags at the top of those uprights are pretty much straight up and down, so not much wind at all, and great follow through.
With the conditions we have right now here in Edmonton, you would not know that about 5 o'clock this afternoon there was a tornado warning just east of the city.
Looked like Ghostbusters in Edmonton.
Scary, yeah.
It just came in black clouds. And
Philpott, get him dancing a little bit. They'll bring it on the near side, taken down there by Leon O'Neill Jr., one of these first-year linebackers for Chris Jones and Jason Shiver's defense.
This is kind of what I meant about talking about Gino Lewis. And again, right after it, Gittins makes a great catch.
Yeah.
So, you know, you got to go where the defense sort of not dictates, but your read takes you. But this is a way that you just saw that play to Philpott is a way to get your playmakers the ball. They run that little reverse to him, give him the ball that way.
2nd and 2 on the ground. First down, Fletcher. Broderick over there to help on the tackle.
That's good news. See Speaker back in the game. Cole Speaker. So training staff has to come out and take a look. That was after the hit from Luchez Purifoy. He went off under his own power and waited his 3 plays, and he's back.
3 receivers out to the left for Fajardo. That's where he goes quickly, but it is batted down at the line of scrimmage. 6'6", Noah Curtis, the 25-year-old, getting there.
That's what they teach. These D-line coaches, defensive coordinators are coming off the edge. If you don't think you can get home on the blitz or on the pass rush, get your hands up. Don't give them a clear throwing lane to get it out of there.
2nd and 10 for Cody Fajardo, trying to keep his late first half drive alive. Has time, now dumps it off to Fletcher. Fletcher looking for some space on the far side of the field. Cuts it inside, taken down, just shy of the first down. Yard, maybe 2 remaining.
Didn't catch the number, but one Edmonton defender tried to take an inside route to make the tackle and would have held them way short here. Let's see who it was. To the right of your screen, this is going to be dumped off. Just a check down by Cody Fajardo. And right there, that inside leverage, if you stay outside on that, your friends are on the inside. Now Morgan's coming from inside out.
That was Leon O'Neill Jr. playing in his 2nd CFL game. So instead of cutting up, you can stay outside.
Stay outside, and if you miss the tackle, you force Fletcher back inside.
And Miles Morgan's coming that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Sam Ajimpong, I believe, being looked at by the training staff. Smile on his face as he gets up and heads off the field to a round of applause from the crowd here at Commonwealth with 70 seconds on the clock. 3rd and a yard. And Caleb Evans into the game for the first time here this evening. Needs a yard for Montreal to keep this drive alive. Pushing it ahead, and that little lunge kind of over the pile should be enough for the Alouettes. Fajardo, 11 of 15, 155 and a touchdown, gets the ball back here.
Good push by the right side of that O-line.
Tyson Philpott at the bottom of your screen, working against Marcus Lewis. 4 receivers to the right. Fajardo's going to look one-on-one on the far side of the field, but that one falls incomplete. Looking for Charleston Rambo, going against Kai Gray, who did have an interception in week 1.
Yeah, that sophomore side, we'll call it, for the Edmonton Elks with Darius Bratton and Kai Gray out there. You see press coverage. This is sometimes an automatic. Single receiver to the backside of the formation. Press coverage by Kai Gray. Automatic fade route. Just go ahead and go deep. They'll try and throw it up there over the top and make a big play down the field. Probably wasn't called in the huddle, but they saw the coverage like that and said, let's take a shot.
2nd and 10 on the edge of field goal range here. Fajardo goes to his running back, pushes it ahead. What a move. Look at Fletcher go. Finds some space down to the 20 to the 10. Will he get there? He does. Touchdown, Walter Fletcher. Montreal strikes late, and it's the former Edmonton Elk who finds his way to the house.
Well, when you saw this live, it looked like Cody Fajardo might have been trying to throw it away. It almost looked like the play was a broken play. Fletch goes down and gets it, and what a move in the open field there, and then it's just a foot race, and he is gone.
Huge play right near the end of the first half. Walter Fletcher doing all the work as Cote knocks it home, and Montreal goes on top, 17-10.
How about that breakaway speed? He had to make one move, but he made the move going full speed and not losing any of that speed in the open field. First of all, it's a low throw, so he has to make a tough catch on what is a real high percentage little screen. And now get his balance, watch this move. Plant, and then inside cut. Wow.
Nick Anderson watching him fly by. Another first-year linebacker for this defense. First touchdown of the season for Fletcher. It's got to feel good doing it against a team you once played for, right?
Just keeping his balance alone. Athletic, and then Fletcher, absolutely, yeah. Oh, you circle those days for sure. How about that open speed, field speed? I mean, he just outran the angles.
78 total yards on the ground and through the air for Fletcher thus far in this ball game. Here's Leak looking for a little bit of space. Wait, finds something here. Javon Leak takes it up to the 50. Now midfield, forced out. Nice return from Leak, and with 12 seconds left, gives his team a chance to maybe respond here.
Well, depending on how Montreal plays this to end the half, McLeod Bethel-Thompson he has time for 2 for sure, maybe 3. So he could take a 15 to 20 yarder and then take a shot. That's what he does. The best in the business last year, those returns.
Exact reason they brought him in. First and 10 from the 48. McLeod Bethel-Thompson hit as he throws, and that will fall incomplete. Sean Lemon there causing issues for MBT.
The veterans know when the offense is going to pass. They just know when it's an automatic throw. They know that with that big return from Javon Leak that Edmonton would come out saying, hey, we got a chance to go get some points here. So he goes back and he pins his ears back knowing that they're not going to run the ball. They're not going to run any screens. They're trying to throw it down the field.
8 seconds on the clock, and it ticks. 3-man pressure. Dump it off. Brown a stumble, got to get down. And he will just outside the 40 with 2 seconds on the clock. And Boris Beatty will trot out to try to get some points here right at the end of the half for Edmonton. Well, a great return from Javon Leak makes this possible. And it will be from 48 yards once again for Beatty. Just knocked one of these through. This one from just inside the right hash. Final play of the opening half to cut the Montreal lead to just 4. Beatty right down the gut, knocks it home. And Edmonton steals 3 points away late from Montreal on an excellent return from Javon Leak.
Well, Cody Fajardo's just a routine 12 of 17 for over 200 yards passing in the first half. A couple of touchdowns, a couple of deep ball strikes down the middle. To a real good start in this one in the first half. And spread the ball around.
5 different receivers with a catch from Cody Fajardo, who is now on the sidelines with our Tom Gazol.
Yeah, does the Cody a late touchdown there to Walter Fletcher. It looked like you were kind of scrambling a little bit. What'd you see on that?
And they'll need some offense here in the second half. Curly Gittens Jr., 9 catches last week, already has 5 for 83 yards this week, and he is with Tom Gazol.
Curly down 4 at the half, going toe-to-toe with the defending champs. What did you make of your guys' first half there?
You know, we're competitors. We love a challenge, and we were excited about this game, and now we just got to finish.
What do you want to see in the second half from you guys offensively?
We just got to finish everything we do, finish catches, finish drives, finish runs, lower shoulder, anything we can do, we just got to finish.
Really appreciate the time.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Not a bad message coming from a guy who had one that he's a little frustrated with, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is a good message, and I'm sure they talked about it at halftime. You know, when we talked to Coach Jones about it this week, he said that it was a real intense, competitive week of practice. You know, coming off that loss to Saskatchewan, and the way it happened in the fourth quarter.
Montreal gets the ball to start the third quarter, and that will be brought back up just outside the 30 by Sean Thomas Erlington. Cody Fajardo put together a nice opening half this evening.
Yeah, 12-17, 201 yards passing, on pace for a 400-yard gain and 2 touchdowns. The Alouettes won the toss and deferred. That's why they get the ball in the take the ball in the second half. See if they can add to this lead.
Julian Grant, leading receiver in that opening half, 75 yards. Bulk of those coming on the opening drive of the ball game for the Alouettes. They'll hand it off to Fletcher to get started as he turns that upfield. A real nice burst, taken down eventually by Niles Morgan, I believe.
About Fletcher and backs like him is they get small in the hole. And I know that seems weird, but they get so compact that it's really hard to corral them, especially if you're a big guy like a D lineman or the bigger linebackers. Niles Morgan's 240 pounds and 6'2". Get small in the hole. It's tough to corral you.
Fletcher just 5'9". You lose him amongst the trees there. Back to him again. This time they get to him. And Kimdichie, among others, get the stop on the ground, and Montreal will be forced to punt it away early in the second half.
So how do you do it when you have a guy like that who gets small in the hole? Is that you just take the gaps. That's a gap right there. So fill that gap, fill that gap, fill that gap. If you fill the gaps, you got a chance, and that's what the D-line does. Discipline up front, step up, fill the gap, make the play.
Kimdichie, Niles Morgan combined on the tackle. 3rd and 2, so a kick from Zima. Malik Flowers, Javon Leak waiting. This is kicked in the direction of Flowers. Takes it back outside the 25, tackled around the 27. McLeod Bethel Thompson gets the ball with his team, trailing 17-13.
Yeah, reading the defense well in the first half. Ball out there again. He used a couple targets, different targets too, but did get Hergy Mayala going early. This was the big catch that led to the touchdown by Mayala.
6 different receivers with a catch in that first half. Geno Lewis just 1 on 1 target for 8 yards.
Not good with that.
They'll start on the ground. Brown takes it all the way out beyond the 35. He's got a first down. Turning ahead, Kevin Brown with the help of his center, Mark Cordy.
Never know what could be the catalyst to really help. You could think back to the big hit from Luchez Purifoy defensively. That gets your teammates going, gets them fired up. And a run like this can do the same thing. I mean, contact made there. Now he's got to just drive, keep the legs going, keep the balance. Good second effort, third effort, gets another 4 yards. Nice.
Brown with 38 yards on 7 carries, had just 7 carries total in week 1 for 23 yards. Lots of pressure here from Montreal. They get it away, but it's dropped on the far side of the field by Flowers. Had to move that ball quickly.
That double clutched it, so MBT in 2nd and long.
Ento, 15 games last year, 48 tackles, 3 interceptions. You mentioned huge interception in the biggest game of all. 2nd and 10. Thompson in trouble again. McLeod Bethel Thompson throws it away. Coming back to the ball is Brown. And it will still be a loss on the play as the pressure from that Montreal front all over McLeod Bethel Thompson.
Yeah, they've been successful. It doesn't necessarily look like full blitz. It's not a lot of, sending 6 or 7. It's sending 4, but it's which 4? And the blocking assignments up front are having trouble picking it up. I mean, Sean Lemon flushes McLeod Bethel Thompson up into the pocket, and he gets his teammates to help, and they rallied to the football. I mean, that was desperation time. We'll see how quickly they can close.
Julian, 3rd and 12, stands On his own 25, kicks this away. That's going to hang up there for a little bit. Letcher takes it just inside the 30, and he's going to look for some room on the far side of the field. Can't find it, and he'll be taken down by 2 or 3 members of the Elks special teams unit, including Haggerty, who's just signed this week. Mustafa Johnson all over MBT. Brown there to help him out. Not enough. And Euro 2024 continuing tomorrow. Third quarter continuing here now. Friday Night Football on TSN. 4 minutes gone in the third quarter. Fajardo with a flag immediately gets it to Philpott, and he is taken down by Marcus Lewis. Flag as that ball was snapped.
We'll see what the penalty is, but just speaking with our producer Chris Edwards in the commercial break,
Offside,
talking about
Edmonton, number 99. That penalty is declined. First down.
Talking about Tyson Philpott not being a big part of the offense tonight when he had 141 in week 1. You know, and sometimes that happens. Sometimes the coverage is rolling. And we're going to start to watch what they're trying to do with Tyson Philpott and how they're covering him. They put him on as a single receiver on the short side of the field.
Fajardo quickly. Philpott again made one man miss, but not the second, as Leon O'Neal Jr. was there to wrap him up.
See, and this is what I mean, like Jason Moss, I'm sure, went in at halftime and looked at the playbook and thought, okay, so how do we get number 6 involved? The first down, they put him down here as a single receiver. This time they put him up at the top, and they're going to try and get him the football in a couple of different ways. That little push to the flat, he gets the ball that way. And the first one was the quick slant inside, but he was a single receiver into the boundary. So just a couple of ways to get Tyson Philpott the football.
3 catches now on the evening for 21 yards. 5-man rush from Edmonton. Brown trying to get the Fajardo again. Dumps it off. Flag on the play. Completion. And it's Fletcher for a first down at midfield. Flag, though, as Fajardo threw that football.
Holding, Montreal, number 65. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Josh Donovan, the right tackle, first year out of Arizona.
He gets up slow, too, after this. So we'll take a look and see. He's going one-on-one with Elliott Brown, and there's the takedown. Well, that was a speed rush off the edge.
Brown causing some issues, already has 3 tackles and a sack in this ball game, and the lineup against each other again here. 2nd and 17 now for Fajardo. Needs a big chunk. He's going to look for it right over the middle, and he's got it. Guns it in there to Philpott. Went down to a knee. Got back up, picked up the first down. That's a clutch catch from Tyson Philpott.
Bunch formation to the right side, and Philpott's the trailer. He's the third guy, the furthest guy back from the line of scrimmage. He's going to wait for everything to clear out, and then he gets the dig route over the middle.
Fajardo on the run to his right, and that one will be incomplete. Thrown just shy of Charleston Rambo.
I was going to say, too, that Donovan, big block on that next play to Philpott over the middle. He held his own, and nice pass protection there, and that's what you want to see. And whether it's a young player, first-year player, second-year player, Philpott gets the blocking he needs, Fajardo with the blocking he needed, and they complete it for a first down.
2nd and 10 midfield for Fajardo. Has time near side, and that one looked like sort of threw it away when he didn't have anything over there.
Yeah, intended for Cole Speaker, and he was working his guy, but just didn't look like Fajardo was comfortable with what he was seeing from his end. So let's take a look at the ISO. This is nice little coverage, man-to-man coverage. And by the way, talking to Tyson Philpott about what he was seeing on the film from Edmonton's defense from week 1, he said they play 40% man. So we're ready to go against one-on-one coverage. But Fajardo didn't like what he saw, just threw that one away.
Joseph Zima. They didn't get this off in time. That clock had ticked down. And the whistle and the flag fly.
Time count violation, Montreal, number 36. 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
Back him up 5, kick it away again. Jason Moss doing some excellent things with the Montreal Alouettes since getting another crack
please reset the clock to
being a CFL head
8:21.
coach. Zima now stands on his own 31. Will they kick it towards Devon Leak?
He's
now
onside.
they're going to move things around.
He's onside. He can recover it.
That's Miles Brooks who's onside. They're going to give it to Antwi. And Antwi is taken down. Ball pops out. It's going to be grabbed by Green and go back. He was clearly down on the play. Well, that was an interesting call, wasn't it?
Fake punt, midfield. Give it a shot. Edmonton was ready.
3rd and 15. You got to have 15 yards here with Antwi. Not even close. Edmonton gets the ball back.
Take a look at the fake again. This is Sean Thomas Erlington, and it's supposed to take the attention of the punt return team so they could fake it the opposite direction to Antwi here. It doesn't work. Almost looked like Antwi thought about that little kick to yourself play that we saw last year. But they're punting again.
Let's get the announcement. They've reset things for another punt.
Had to be some penalties.
During the last play, we had an illegal low block against Edmonton, number 26. It'll be a 10-yard penalty, and we will repeat third down.
10-yard penalty, repeat third down. Edmonton, the most penalized team in week 1 by a significant margin. What a huge swing in this ball game. They would have had that ball in midfield. Zima kick it away again. This time that's exactly what they'll do. Flowers waits, takes it cleanly at the 10. Up the middle, turn of about 12 yards for Malik Flowers.
Well, we found the penalty to Haggerty, and he's trying to play run defense in fairness to him. However, it's a punt formation, a kicking formation, so you can't block low or take on a cover guy low like he does there in the kicking situation. That's the penalty.
Even though it's not kicked.
Exactly, that's the penalty, and that's why
wow,
Montreal kicks it again, because that changes the field position drastically, obviously.
Haggerty just signed this week. Grey Cup champion with the Argos. This attempt on the ground goes absolutely nowhere. Kind of just ran into a wall. That is the Montreal defensive line. Penalty on Haggerty. Certainly a big one. Just a yard on that first down carry for Kevin Brown, so it sets up 2nd and 9 for McLeod Bethel-Thompson. Working from his own 24 here. Brown will slide over to his right. Bring Herji Mayala in to block as well, and he picks up a man. MBT's got more time now. He takes off to his left. Does he have anywhere to throw this? Ball lays it out there, just out of the reach of Flowers, who laid out but couldn't hang on.
Yeah, McLeod Bethel-Thompson took a hit there. He's getting up a little bit slow on that one. He was in full sprint to get away from that pressure from the backside. As he lets go, bang, hit hard by Sean Lemon. And, you know, just to go back to the penalty by Haggerty, on basically any play, you can't go low on a blocker. So that's going to be called no matter if it's defense out there against the offense or whatever, kicking formation or not.
3rd and 9. Julian, towering punt. Letcher takes it at the 40. Return of about 3 yards before he is wrapped up on the play. Jacob Lamunden, I believe, on the tackle, trying to keep this drive alive, get this drive going. Flowers up the fingertips. Sometimes I wonder what the latest from Slim Shady. There with it. 90s night actually here at Commonwealth, so that's fitting. Short pickup on first down. Nice workload tonight for Fletcher.
The defenses have made some adjustments here and a little bit harder slugging it for the offense, as we saw both quarterbacks making some plays in the first half, but it's a game of adjustments, and Jason Shivers see what he's got here for second and long.
Past the midway point of the third quarter. Fajardo, 15 of 22 for 233 and a couple of major strikes. Needs 7 yards here. 4-man pressure from Edmonton. Fajardo in trouble. They get home and take him down. Noah Curtis, first sack of the season, had a big deflection earlier in the ball game.
D-line just collapsed the pocket here as a group. You just see the entire group step up and just collapse it. Keep driving back, and no escape lane for Cody Fajardo. The other end of that play, he wanted a big, deep route from Cole Speaker, and Luchez Purifoy sat right in the throwing lane, right in the hole.
Zima with the punt from the 21. Hangs one up there. Leak waiting. Bounces through his hands. Flowers is there to grab it. And now he will be wrapped up and taken down at the 22. That was a close one, wasn't it? Noah Curtis getting home on Cody Fajardo. Second sack of the game for that Edmonton defense.
Right now.
Great way to get some fresh faces into the CFL.
Well, and starting to actually get a chance to coach. Think of Tanya Henderson, the assistant defensive back coach in BC, will be in BC tomorrow night. And yeah, outstanding program.
Variety of positions across the league. On the ground, pushing it ahead, Javon Leake. And how about that? Mix him in on the offense right after he had that kick return drop through his hands, showing some confidence in one of their offseason acquisitions.
Yeah, it's a good idea. It's always a good idea. Whether it's a receiver who drops one, the quarterback goes right back to him, or return, get him out there, get that mental demon out of your head. That's the whole purpose of that. Not to mention they're pretty skilled players. You get the ball in his hands, he can make it happen.
Game breaker for sure. Cobb Bethel Thompson with time over the middle. Led the receiver up towards the 40. Montreal saying incomplete. Hergy Miala says, I got it, and it's a first down. Get another look at this.
Right in front of Darnell Sankey. He sees it, but Miala does a nice job coming back to the football. Nice accuracy there, too, from MBT to throw it low and away.
Fourth catch of the game for Miala. 4 receivers out to the wide side right. MBT down the lane. Intercepted. Was looking for Gino Lewis. Nafis Lyon, a former Elk, steps underneath it and takes it away for the Montreal defense.
Well, Lyon was able to drop underneath it because of the trajectory of the throw. I mean, MBT just put this on the line. I was wondering what they would have for 87 in the second half. They want to take a shot with him deep. He's well covered here. He goes inside move, and then he was expecting like a big deep ball with lots of air under it. And Gino Lewis is down the field. He's kind of in behind Lyon, but that was on a line, and number 8 just slides underneath it with Dequoy coming across from the safety spot, too.
First turnover tonight by either club.
Now go get it defense. Went and got it.
Fajardo fakes the handoff. Now dumps it off to his running back. And he is taken down after a pickup of about 5 yards. Kai Gray over there on the tackle. Feast Lyon was with Edmonton in 2021 and 2022. 4 career interceptions. Now you can give him another one. That's his 5th career INT.
It's one of the nice things about being defending champions. All of your returning roster has championship experience, just like that. Experience in the big game. So regular season feels a lot different. And, you know, you see that ball just thrown right on a line. Duquois almost got there from center field. Number 8 right at the bottom of your screen. He's in real good coverage. He's in a trail position, though, and I just wonder if McLeod Bethel-Thompson launches this over the top and lets Gino Lewis go and run under it. They might have had some, but Lyon says, This is called the go-get-it defense.
Got that one, no doubt. Gino seemed to have a step on him. Yeah, that was laid out there, like you said. Fajardo, 2nd and 4.
Sometimes DBs, though, want you to think that.
Throw it my way. Look.
Yeah, look, he's behind me. Look.
He's got me.
Go ahead. Give it a shot.
I have no chance on this. Fajardo stays in the pocket, goes over the middle. He's got a first down up to the 50, back to Julian Grant. 5th catch of the ball game for 11 in whites.
So many options on that play because Cole Speaker was crossing one way and Julian Grant crossing the other. So it really puts a bind on the linebackers. As long as there's time to throw, one of those guys is going to open up.
Lots of offense in the first half of this ball game. Bit of a defensive battle here in the 3rd quarter. Fajardo, pressure coming, gets it away, looks for a deep shot all the way down the field. Incomplete. Oh, Charleston Rambo, so close. Excellent effort to try to haul that one in.
There's the difference in the deep ball from Fajardo is the one we just saw from MBT. See the air under that ball. He's allowing Rambo to try and go and run it down. 14, top right of your screen, and you know who's covering him? Cordell Jackson. Remember the first deep ball of the game? Cordell Jackson was in coverage. He got beat. He bounces back and sticks with it here to make that tough on Rambo. You got to survive contact with the ground and maintain possession. Wasn't able to do it.
2nd and 10 from their own 51. Fajardo in trouble, tries to get away. He will not throw down again. Kimdichie is there. His 2nd sack of the season in as many games.
One of the top recruits coming out of college, Robert Kimdichie. They're real excited about what he can bring to the table. And again, this is Cody Fajardo's got to climb the pocket here. Kimdichie's going to just keep at it, spin move, right back into it, and with his teammates flushing him up into the pocket, right into his arms.
Clock ticks down inside a minute. Quarter number 3, Leak backpedaling, takes it at the 15. Trying to get to the far side of the field. He will not take it down, just shy of the 20.
One of the highest ranked recruits coming out of high school into college and a 1st-round draft pick in the NFL back in 2016. And he's a guy that they are looking for big things, both against the run, but also here. And this is just a matter of sticking with it, finding that empty lane, and when Cody Fajardo tried to step up, being right there to bring him down.
Mentioned 1st-round pick of Arizona, stops in Seattle, Miami, San Francisco. Now straight into the Montreal backfield there. McLeod Bethel-Thompson stays in the pocket, goes to Gino Lewis just outside the 25, gets more than half of what they need. It'll be 2nd and manageable here for Edmonton. 2nd catch of the game for Gino Lewis.
You know what it is. All time, huh? You know it. You gotta call. Shout out to
Kimdichie looks like he's sweating more than Gino Lewis was. I'm just saying.
2 sacks in 2 games to start his CFL career. Lewis at the top of your screen for Edmonton. 2nd and 2. They will go on the ground right up the middle for Brown, trying to keep those legs moving. Gets to the 30, and that is what they needed.
Are you going to give it to him?
Looked like he kind of fell over top of the 30, didn't it?
that matters is where the official puts his foot.
Both defenses stepping up here in the third quarter. It is the defending Grey Cup champions looking to open the season with a 2-0 start on the road. They lead 17-13, and it's 17-13 at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Both defenses come to play, and something we're getting used to with the Montreal Alouettes.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you know, both these defense made adjustment at halftime, and they came out in the second half, and those big plays, those explosions that Coach talked about on the panel, they've kind of disappeared in the third quarter. The guys making plays on defense. But that Montreal defense with Noel Thorpe leading the way and Darnell Sankey on the field, I mean, 12 points against their opponent in the Grey Cup, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, in week 1. They've only given up 13 in 3 quarters here. That defense gets it done, and then key second downs, putting a lot of pressure on Bethel Thompson.
They did give Brown the first down. So it's 1st and 10 from the 30. Of course, Edmonton a week ago against the Riders allowed 21 points in the fourth quarter. Let one slip away. They'll go to Brown here. Brown trying to push ahead, and he's almost got another one. Stopped just shy of the 40.
So what makes the Montreal defense a tough defense to play against? Well, we showed you in the first half a couple of times how they sometimes only send 4 guys on the pass rush. You just don't know which 4. It reminds me of the late Don Matthews type defenses where they can mix and match with linebackers or DBs to get the 4-man pressure, and then what it does is it makes the offensive line take a split second to figure it out.
Brokop into the game, 2nd and inches. Gets the inches required for an Edmonton first down.
So when they take that split second, all it takes is that second of a tackle or a guard to look and say, okay, I've got the linebacker in front of me, and then, oh, he disappeared, and it's the DB coming from over here, and now it's too late to react. So that's one of the reasons that this Montreal defense is good. I mean, don't get me wrong, they've got good players, world-class players, but it also really makes you dot the I's and cross the T's offensively.
Back on the ground attack. Brown bounces off of a big hit and then gets a push ahead to take him outside the 45 for a pickup of about 4 yards.
Sankey shaking his head. Darnell Sankey was in the hole to meet Kevin Brown on that play. He just said, watch number 1. This is how you play run defense, up until the fact that he didn't wrap him up. But this scrape to the hole, step up in the hole, big hit, and good on Kevin Brown to spin out of it.
It's a hard 4 yards for 4 in green, isn't it?
That's a nice bagger, too.
2nd and 6. Just 3-man pressure, wide open, far side. That will be complete to Gittins Jr., his first catch of the second half, and it's a first down, Edmonton.
Yeah, so that's just another look that MBT actually, he read this one, knew he had time. It was Gittins Jr. in that little switch with Mayala, and with just 3-man pressure, Bethel Thompson knows you've got lots of time to sit in there.
The Feast line eventually forcing Curley out of bounds. He's 11 yards away from a 100-yard, 10 yards away. They corrected 10 yards away from a 100-yard game. Back again to Gittins, and he is wrapped up and then taken down heavily by Sankey. This is like Gittins wanted a face mask call there.
This is the other thing, Dustin, here again, just it may not seem like much, but Sean Lemon on that last play, who is lined up at defensive end most of the time, wasn't on that last play. So Sean Lemon is now interior and almost lined up like a linebacker. So the guys up front have to count him. Is he going to be a pass rusher or not? Now they threw it away from that spot, but that's what's challenging for this Montreal defense.
2nd and 7. They'll bring some more pressure here. Down the field, dropping it in there, but no. Dylan Mitchell in and out of his hands.
Oh, boy.
Had the speed. Looked like it was going to be taken to the house.
I'll tell you what, you don't get many opportunities like this. That's a bust. And it doesn't happen very often against this defense. Ooh, and you can't throw it any better.
Montreal, I believe, has just taken a penalty.
Is it offside or is it bigger than that? By the way, for Edmonton, plays like that last one is
offside. Montreal, number 20. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
They'll still be short. It just depends on how short, because what are they, 7?
Still be a couple of yards. But with Prukop,
Chris Jones feel like in a gambling mood.
Yeah. Prukop's coming out to a round of applause from the crowd.
It's a long 2. It's a long 2. This is big.
We saw him last week. We saw him in Winnipeg and other places. Take it to the outside. Right? He doesn't necessarily always just automatically push it ahead. I wonder if that comes into play here.
I hear you, but if you do that, you give the defense more time to rally to it.
Prukop needing a huge 2 yards here.
It goes.
That's what they're going to try to do. And that is blown down. Helmet comes off. No chance for Dakota Prukop there. Mustafa Johnson in his face immediately. Turnover on downs at midfield. Free pass for Johnson. Montreal's defense comes up big.
Mark Corte to slide, protect, go right down and make that block as he slides to his left, because Prukop was going to try and get outside and get around the corner.
Huge turnover on downs. Now Fajardo, he's taken off with this. He gets wrapped up from behind. Kimdichie in on the tackle.
So the call in general would be, but you wonder, it'll be questioned, but you wonder, how did he get through that quickly? Well, if you ask the center to go that far to get there, I mean, it's a good half step, or a step and a half, I should say, to get in front of Mustafa Johnson, and he couldn't get there. He got kind of tackled by his own guy, and that just cut off the lane for Prukop.
5 yards for Fajardo on that first down. Needs 5 more. Cody escaping the pocket, on the run again, and there he goes. A slide for 7 just inside the 45.
I was going to say that call will be questioned with 11 minutes or so to go, to not kick it and try to pin Cody Fajardo and the offense deep. Put their defense on and see if you can get a 2 and out, and that field position doesn't change too much. But, you know, you've got some success in short yardage with Dakota Prukop earlier in this game when it was 3rd and a couple. But what a play by Johnson. And now Montreal closing in on field goal range.
Kimdichie down on one knee. And he will get up and walk off under his own breath. So Chris Jones, big decision. Yeah, you mentioned a lot of time on the clock still in that spot.
Yeah, you know, I think there's probably a split right down the middle on that. Like, there's a whole bunch that love, go for it.
Be aggressive.
Be aggressive. Go after it. Go to try and win a football game. And they had success on 3rd and 2 earlier in this game tonight.
5-man pressure here. Fajardo gets it away. Pressured as he throws, and it does fall incomplete. He was looking for Philpott out in the flat.
And then there's the other side of that discussion, which is conventional wisdom and playing the odds. In other words, kick it deep, make it a long field for Fajardo, get your defense on in a good position, get it 2 and out, and you're right back at midfield again with the offense. A lot of ifs in there, but
Montreal trying to make them pay here. Need 10 yards for the first down. Looks up to Fletcher. Now comes the other way. Speaker's got it. Elliott Brown is able to track him down, and that will likely force Montreal into a field goal situation to take a 7-point lead.
well, on the turnover, and that's what it is. Turnover on downs. Montreal, or the Edmonton defense, put in a bind, does their job.
Cote, 1 for 1, a bomb from 53. This one from 45. Purifoy will trot back into the end zone just in case he misses it. And he does. That's wide left. Purifoy will bring it out to the 5. Now just shy of the 10. And Edmonton dodges that bullet after the turnover. Cote pushes it wide left. Only on TSN.
You got to give up a point on that last one.
Takes a field position.
Yeah. Difference between 4 and 5 is still a major.
It was weird because Purifoy was kind of late getting back there as well. Quick completion, and that'll be pushed ahead just shy of a first down. Back to Hergy Mayala as Bob Ethel-Thompson creeps towards 200 yards in the game.
Yeah, it was an interesting setup for the field goal return team, because not only did Purifoy kind of take his time getting back there, it almost looked like, you know, that would be the position Javon Leak would be in. We'll find out if maybe he's nicked and why he wasn't in there. And then the decision to take it out with a 4-point difference, 4 and 5 is really the same thing.
Prokop back into the game. They need a yard.
And some people will be saying, wait a minute, it's not the same thing. It's 4 or 5.
Yeah.
But if you want to, it's one possession, but you need a major to win.
You're going to have the 6 no matter what, right?
Yeah. And the 6 is the winning points either way.
First down for Edmonton. 7.5 minutes remaining in the game. Montreal coming in off that victory in Winnipeg, looking to open up the year 2-0 away from home. Edmonton started last season 0-9. Do not want to fall to 0-2 to start this campaign. Some pressure coming. MBT stays in there, dumps it off. Mitchell hangs on to it, broke one tackle, taken down on the second one. Hanging on there was Deontay Ruffin.
Got some breathing room anyway. Lots of time left on the clock. And a 1-possession game.
6 yards for Mitchell.
Tommy on the sideline just checked in with Edmonton, and Javon Leak is not hurt, not healthy.
Yeah, I see him standing down on the sideline there, so not out on that field goal, at least far side. And that is Mitchell. There's a flag. McLeod Bethel-Thompson was down behind the play. Flag right next to him as Mitchell has another completion on the far side.
Mentioned off the top that Reggie Stubfield is out for the season with a knee injury. Happened in Winnipeg in week 1, and Bryce Cosby is playing in that spot.
Roughing the passer, Montreal, number 30, 15 yards from the end of the play, first down.
He has been anxious to get after the quarterback. He's up at the top of your screen, and he got a free lane and carried through with the hit well after MBT let go of the ball. He had time to adjust his path and not hit the quarterback, and chose to.
Had a sack earlier in the game, 6 tackles as well, but an untimely penalty there for Cosby. Far side again. Gino Lewis working against Nafis Lyon. Lyon will wrap him up quickly, but MBT starting to get in a little bit of a rhythm now, over 200 yards in the ballgame.
Yeah, sometimes a different part of the game can bail out a mistake. So a decision mistake to give up a single and lose the field position, but now past midfield, McLeod Bethel-Thompson has bailed the special teams out.
Well, they're right back to where they were.
Exactly.
Same score as earlier because of the missed field goal from Cote. Brown, nice little sidestep juke, gets him a first down inside the 50, and the drive continues for Edmonton.
There's a nice jump cut right there from Kevin Brown. Sankey drops and is picked up by an offensive lineman, so he can't scrape to it. But that was a sweet jump cut by Kevin Brown right here, just outside, and away you go.
Montreal was showing pressure. Now they back off. They'll dump it off to Brown. Ball pops out, but they're going to say incomplete on the field. And that whistle will blow. Beverette in on the tackle on the last play, in on this one as well.
I'm going to say that worked out. An incompletion was a good thing for Edmonton, because that was going to be a loss because of how quickly Beverette got there.
Never had it.
Just causing all kinds of mayhem. But no control, incomplete.
2nd and 10 for Edmonton. 5 minutes to play. They trail at home 17-13. Near side, wide open. Mitchell goes down and gets it. Hangs on, and a little redemption there for Mitchell. He's got a first down for Edmonton.
Yeah, that's big, because that one was blown away inside. He's running an out route and had to put the brakes on to come back and scoop it up. A little bit of pressure on MBT, so it's not quite an accurate as throw as normal, but he has to go down and get that one. But you're right, he's in a rhythm coming out of his own end.
Drive that started inside the Edmonton 10 now sits on the Montreal 30. 3 options out to the left for McLeod Bethel Thompson. Gittins will slide in to protect. MBT pressure there, gets it away towards the end zone, intercepted again, taken away by Ito. Now he'll bring it back for Montreal. Another interception from McLeod Bethel Thompson, and this one ends what was working to be an excellent drive for the home side, and he is not happy. Same type of direction, got hit as he throws, but stepping underneath is Ento.
Talked about the DB sometimes wants the quarterback to think the receiver's open, so he throws. This is pressure, so MBT has to get rid of the football. Ento drops his man. He thinks he's got that seam route to Dylan Mitchell, and Ento cuts underneath it. It's textbook for Ento to just play the play, leave his man, and go help out.
Montreal gets the ball at the 50, looking for a drive to seal this away. They'll hand it off to Fletcher. A couple extra yards on the push.
In that commercial break, crowd here was chanting, "We want Trey." I mean, not that that was the read for Bethel Thompson, but we heard the crowd start saying, "We want Trey." Now, we talked to the coach about Trey Ford, and is he going to be a guy that we see a package for, or what? Are you going to try and get him in games no matter what the score early on? And he said, not really, not at this point. He's talked about the fact that maybe Trey didn't even think he wanted to be considered as a sort of gadget quarterback.
2nd and 7. They'll get it to Philpott. Broke a tackle, and he's got a first down for Montreal as the clock ticks towards 3 minutes.
He is the backup, but
I think the chant here, despite the efforts, I love a good chant. Probably a little wishful thinking. They're not going to give MBT that much money and give him a game and a half or 2 games to. Now, with that being said, they don't have a lot of time to get this thing on track here.
No, they don't. And you got to start at some point, or you don't get to make the decision on who's playing quarterback.
Fajardo out to his right. Julian Grant tackled on the far side of the field by Kai Gray. And that will take us inside 3 minutes. Edmonton trailing Montreal 17-13 on Friday Night Football. He only agreed to come to Vancouver because we were calling the game.
I don't think so, but okay.
That's what I was told. It's going to be fun. It's going to be quite the scene. 50,000, over 50,000.
54 and counting.
Fajardo This is big. Edmonton's defense needs this stop right here. 2nd and 3. They'll hand it off. They're not going to get the stop. Fletcher, he's got other ideas. Down to the 10-5, lunging in. Touchdown, Walter Fletcher. And the former Elk seals it away. Another big play by Fletcher. Wow.
Just the acceleration alone, incredible. You're right. This is the play that the Elks defense had to make. It kept them out of field goal range. They get the ball back with a chance, and Fletcher said, I got other ideas. How about I take it right to the house?
Untouched. Huge hole. Nobody there. Fletcher, one on the ground, one through the air, and over 120 total yards. Interception thrown by MBT. Oh, that one is off the upright. 10-point game. Interception by MBT, followed by 4 plays, 60 yards in 1 minute and 58 seconds. Have yourself a day, Walter Fletcher.
Well, we both looked at the chart and saw that he had 12 for 37 in game 1 against Winnipeg, and you think, well, wait a minute, you gotta get the back more involved, and he was more involved tonight. A couple of big plays, just showing some great speed in the open field. No one can catch him. That Elks secondary. Good blocking up front. Weston Lawrence gets out and gets a nice block, and untouched to the end zone, and that's the dagger right there.
138 yards, 2 touchdowns for Fletcher today.
And the Elks finding another way. I mean, week 1 against Saskatchewan, a 10-point lead going into the 4th, and turnovers, and 21 points later, and they lose in week 1. An interception within scoring range turns into a touchdown the other way.
Leak to the 25, trying to find some space. He will not. Returns it to the 34 before he is taken down. And you're right, they find a way. They're driving the field. It's looking like they're going to go on top here late in the game, and instead an interception and then a 4-play 60-yard drive, and it's lights out.
Walter Fletcher's got some go get it in him. It's not just the defense.
Offense too. Fletcher specifically tonight.
How about Ento and that interception?
Ethel Thompson throws that one away. Gino Lewis not on the same page. He turned about midfield. That ball dropped at the 40. Quiet night for Eugene Lewis. 3 catches for just 23 yards.
Yeah, that's a bit of a head scratcher. And like I said, your quarterback, another hit by MBT, but your quarterback has got to make his reads and throw it to the spot he needs to throw it to. I get all that, but you can make plays, set up plays where the primary is your big play guy. And I'm not sure those plays were available tonight.
Hit again. And that one falls incomplete at the feet of Gino Lewis, and that will bring up 3rd down. Mustafa Johnson just walking through the offensive line of the Elks right now.
You know, and there's some decisions. Remember when Johnson made the play in short yardage in 3rd and 2 at about midfield with 11 minutes to go. I mean, there's
Chris Jones about to fall to 2-18 at home since getting the reins of the franchise back. Ethel Thompson this time finds Lewis midfield. 1st down. Dequoy there to take him down.
that type of looked like Gino Lewis a little wobbly getting out. Medical spotter, I'm sure we'll see that. They might. Looks like he'll be okay. Down at the bottom of your screen.
Up to the 52. Three-man pressure goes right back over to Lewis. And he turns around and hauls it in at the 45.
Well, they're asking him. So that's okay. I'm good.
Back-to-back catches for Lewis. First and 10 up to the Montreal 45. .264 yards for MBT, but 2 interceptions. Pressure coming, hit as he throws, got it away, didn't think he was going to. Flowers came over, and they'll say incomplete. Sean Lemon was right on top of him.
Yeah, it's tough when you're playing offense and you got 3 guys, 3-man pressure, basically against 5 in the back out of the backfield, and they still get there and force an errant throw.
The previous play is under the review by the command center.
Ruled incomplete on the field. Command center is going to take another look at this one with 1:44 on the clock.
We always say that, you know, ideally defensively, if you can get pressure with 4 guys, you can do a lot in the back end. You can do a lot of different coverages and different looks and half zone, half man, a lot of different things. As soon as you start to send extra guys to get more pressure, that limits what you do in the back end coverage wise. But if you can get pressure with 3, wow, now you're making it really tough for a quarterback to kind of figure out the puzzle in the coverage department.
Command center getting a look at it.
And all those, look at all those white jerseys back there.
One more look at it, and then we'll get to the call. Flowers goes down, tries to get it. See the ground right there. Let's get the official ruling down on field.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Second down.
So 2nd and 10, and the injury spotter, we believe, wants to remove Geno Lewis from this ball game right now.
Yeah, they're coming out to get him.
He's going to say, I've played a couple of plays
The
since
injury
then.
spotter is removing Edmonton number 87.
But it doesn't matter if it's just, you know, if they're watching him, they're still watching him for, you know, is he wobbly? Is he getting back to the huddle properly? Is, you know, I think his head hit the ground. And
that's what it was, yeah.
And they look at the replays, I'm sure, too. And they asked him, he said, yeah, I'm okay, but they're still watching him, and said, you know what, it's not quite right. Let's bring him out, which is the right call. I mean, you know the player in the moment wants to stay in the game, but Players Association and the players are working really hard to make the game safer, as the league is as well, and you can't have it both ways. So got to sit out 3 plays and be evaluated.
3-man pressure again. Mitchell goes down and gets it at the 30. That's his 5th catch of the ball game.
Well, and you know why Edmonton fans are now cheering for or chanting Trey Ford's name? 0-9 last year. Ford came in, lost that first one against Winnipeg, but it was close, and then won his next game and won 4 as the starter. Now, I'm not suggesting they make the big change now, and by all accounts, the quarterback room is solid. I mean, Cloud Bethel-Thompson, high praise for Trey Ford, says he'll be an outstanding quarterback his entire career, and he's going to be a star. So they're good in the room. Coach got to make the call, though, as to whether or not he wants to see Trey Ford at all.
McLeod takes off down to the 10, lunging ahead, and picks up about 8 on the quarterback scramble with 72 seconds on the clock. Try to punch one in here quickly. Get the ball back on onside. Montreal just bringing 3 for most of this drive. Now they'll put a little bit more pressure in there. That one complete, turns Mayala down, and he will get touched there by Cosby with 1:02 on the clock.
It's a handful of plays that are the difference. I mean, the 3rd and 2 or 3 that the Elks didn't get. The drop by Dylan Mitchell. Remember that deep ball that was a touchdown?
Yeah. Well, that was a big drop. Now towards the corner, a flag on the play. 2 of them. And this should take Edmonton right down to
Pass
the 1.
interference, Montreal, number 22. Ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. Automatic first down.
Deontay Ruffin, the guilty party here.
I think it's down at the bottom of your screen here, or to the right of your screen. They switch it off and then stop it right there. That's the hook. Wasn't a lot, but did get him.
Prukop back into the game, looking for his 2nd touchdown of the day, trying to push it ahead behind that offensive line. And they will sort and try to find him underneath that pile. Stopped just short. I'll back him up to the 1 and try it again.
It's number 1. Sankey up over the top.
Forced him down into the pile.
The problem for Edmonton is the time. It's one thing if they have to load it up again and do it again, you lose another 4 or 5 seconds.
4 or 5 seconds that they simply don't have here. You need to get the ball back again. Prukop, they'll try it again, pushing through. Did he get home that time? And he's short again.
Wow.
Shades of that game to open the season last year against the Riders.
Well, let's see from this angle. Can you see the ball cross the plane? I don't think it does. As far as that first look when you could see the ball, now you can't see it. And to overturn a call of no touchdown, you'd have to have the evidence to do so.
3rd and goal from the Montreal 1. The Alouettes defense trying to seal it away. They'll try the other side, and he pushes through for the touchdown. 2nd of the game for Prukop. But just 33 seconds remaining on the clock.
Most time you need a few big plays here. You got to make the extra point. Then you got to go onside kick. Got to get that, and then you need 1 or 2 first downs, and you're in field goal range. It's only a 10-point game because of the goalpost on the extra point when Fletcher scored.
Prukop will watch on. First 2 touchdowns as a member of the Edmonton Elks for 7 in green. Beatty will come out to try to make it a 3-point game with just over half a minute remaining. And the whistles blow before that ball is snapped. The officials look to sort this out. Then a time count on the extra point. 13 plays, 76 yards.
Time count violation, Edmonton, number 9. It's 5-yard penalty. Repeat the convert.
Time count on the convert. That drive took 1 minute and 36 seconds. But it left him with just 33. Now Beatty will be backed up.
By the way, that time count's not on Beatty. The holder, Jake Julian, has got to call the play in the huddle and be watching. Make sure they kick it in time. Holder's in control of that.
Beatty for a 3-point game. And he is able to push that through.
That looked a little wobbly there.
Started to wobble, didn't it? Started to wobble, straightened out. And now Edmonton will attempt to get the ball back.
Yeah, that came off his foot, and it looked a little bit wobbly, like it might be leaking to the left, and then watch it correct itself. Right back in and inside that left upright. So now it's onside kick time.
And if you can get the onside kick, you don't need the touchdown here, right?
No, exactly.
Onside kick, couple of plays, field goal range, and roll Beatty back out there to try to tie this game late. We've seen crazier things in this wonderful league, but odds are against them here, no doubt.
Well, we're playing the 5th quarter, as Niles Morgan told us. The final 3 minutes. It's the 5th quarter of a CFL game. So for Montreal, it's the hands team. And they'll put sure hands on the edges. And Philpott will be out there.
Eugene Lewis is on the field for Edmonton after being taken off by the injury spotter during that last drive.
There's Philpott right there, in case they try to squib it.
Beatty lines up Edmonton trying to get the ball back.
Psych.
Let's see if they'll do it again here. Beatty chips it ahead and bounces. Edmonton trying to get on it, but Montreal is able to recover. It was there for the taking, and Purifoy could not get his hands on it.
Ken Narcou steps up. It hit his hands. That means it's live. So it has to go 10 yards before an Elk can touch it. But this is a nice kick, takes that hop, and now it's a live ball. It's gone 10, it's come back, and you're right. 3 Elks have a chance. How about that?
Look at that kick. Obviously caused an issue, and Purifoy just could not come up with it. Montreal is going to hang on here.
Timer, please reset the clock to 31 seconds. 31 seconds.
They'll throw 31 seconds on the clock.
That front line, by the way, is there to try and get in the way of any of Purifoy and guys like that trying to recover it.
Fajardo dumps it off to Fletcher. Broke a tackle, pushes ahead to the 35 with 27 seconds on the clock.
Timeout, Edmonton.
Well, we've got a 3-point ball game, but in the end, ends up going in the loss column for Edmonton and an 0-2 start for Chris Jones. Things don't get easier either as they go on the road for 2 against Toronto and BC.
And my point about the decisions and some of the things that have gone on in this second half and 4th quarter, you know, the interception you put on McLeod Bethel-Thompson there. He got pressure. That ball floated on him. Ento undercut it. And a chance to score and take the lead. So, okay, let's say you give that one to the quarterback, but a lot of other things have happened in this game. Dropped by Dylan Mitchell. The decision to go for it on 3rd down with 11 minutes to go. The decision on a missed field goal to bring it out and lose field position ended up in that interception, but maybe the better field position changes the play call at that end. So, you know, again, we hear it all the time that 5 or 6 plays determine the outcome of the game. You don't know when they're going to happen, so you got to be ready for all of them, but still haunting Edmonton.
When the game's over, there's really not a lot of debate always. You can look right to the 5 or 6 plays and go,
exactly.
Here are the key moments of this football game. A few of those today involving Fletcher, who is just outstanding for the Montreal Alouettes. Jason Moss watching on as his team is about to begin their Grey Cup defense with a 2-0 start on the road. Montreal heads home for their opener at home against Ottawa.
Timeout, Montreal.
Montreal will call that timeout with 2 seconds left.
Well, you can see the diversity in this offense, too, from Jason Moss and Fajardo at the controls when, you know, last week it was big-time Tyson Philpott.
Timer, please reset the clock to 3 seconds.
And then a sprinkling around the rest of the receiving core. Not a lot for Walter Fletcher last weekend. This weekend, Fletcher, big part of the offense.
Huge game.
Julian Grant, bunch of big catches, including that real deep one in the first quarter in the first series, setting up the first major for Montreal. So lots of weapons. And that's without Tyler Sneed in the lineup tonight.
Fajardo takes the ball and will just heave it up and out of bounds, and that will do it. The Montreal Alouettes coming to Edmonton on Friday Night Football, and they have to like what you see if you're an Alouettes fan right now.
Still on a roll. I mean, going back to last year.
Team win, let's go.
Defending champions,
Let's get it going.
10 in a row now, going back to the regular season last year.
The defending champions look just like that. Champions once again to start this season. 23-20 your final. Cody Fajardo, couple of touchdown passes. Walter Fletcher outstanding in this ball game as he has a touchdown on the ground, another one through the air, and the Montreal Alouettes spoil the party here in Edmonton. The Elks, after starting last year 0-9, start this year 0-2 and will have to head on the road. 23-20 your final. Sports Center is next with Jen Hedger, Tessa Bono.